Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whichever it may be. I'll go back to my trusty old Truman Show stuff and have a little bit of fun. Welcome to episode 18 of The Builder's Office. My name is Hugh. I'll be your host, and this podcast is for everybody and anybody that is doing any kind of building work on their home, whether it is a new build, renovation, and whether they've started or whether they haven't. Just so that they can get a little bit of information to be able to help them succeed at their building project. So let's get started on episode 18, and we're going to be doing a little bit more on trades and the issues surrounding trades, not necessarily the issues, but we might even look at some of the brighter points of trades and their abilities, because at the end of the day, we need trades. And I know that I have a little bit of a concern that trades might be disappearing, and while I have touched on that in previous episodes, just to do with the issue that trades aren't necessarily being taught all of the skills that they really need. And one of the major skills that they really do need is the business acumen. And while we can continue touching on that, today I wanted to touch on more so how you can spot a good tradie and how you can spot a bad tradie. But we'll try to get onto all the good topics, because at the end of the day, we know that there are a lot of good tradies out there and they run their business as well. And even when they're younger, they do learn the skills that they really do need, because they've got some good mentors. And really, we all know that everybody needs a good mentor, whether it is one of their parents, whether it is somebody else that they meet along in their life, need mentors. And then of course coaches as well, because hey, every footy team, they have a coach. And what does the coach do? Inspires them. It inspires them to be able to do better and to achieve their goals. Kick the goals, we should be saying. So wanted to touch a little bit on that, and hope that you get the benefits out of being able to spot a good tradie and keep a hold of them, because keeping a hold of them these days, that's getting harder and harder with the quick and very well, what's the word I'm looking for there? I'm looking for a particular word. The quick and I can't think of it, but it'll come back to me at some point. But yeah, the very quick way that people are sort of used and cut. So we'll go into a little bit of that. So what are the signs of a good tradie? Let's just dive right into that fun one. So the signs of a good tradie, obviously, first one, they turn up. I know, sounds really, really easy, especially when you're talking about a business and everybody that can be involved in a business, whether it's the business owner, whether it's an apprentice, whether it's a trainee, whether it's just an employee, admin assistant, all these sorts of things, whether they turn up, and people turning up on time when they say they're going to, and the communication aspect. These are critical things that are going to be able to help you at least achieve the goal that you're looking for when it comes to your project. Because when it comes to trades and when it comes to builders, we've really got to put them through what I do with prospective clients, and that is qualifying them. And I know that with the places that we can go to find trades and be able to get them on board, we are finding it quite difficult to be able to gauge the abilities, gauge their competencies, and also gauge their trustworthiness. So we will be touching on a lot of the trust issues that are out there, because look, at the end of the day, we know, and most trades know, that trades and builders don't have the best reputation in the world. And a lot of people look down and say that, hey, hold on a second, well, builders, trades, you've got to be careful. And look, things on A Current Affair and the old Today Tonight, when that was still on, didn't help the situation. And really, the industry should have stood up, taken account for all of this, and at least made some changes. And I'm hoping at some point soon I'm going to be able to make a change to be able to help that situation. Because look, at the end of the day, we all can be doing better, and if everyone's more professional out there in the industry, it's only going to make things better for consumers and clients. Because look, at the end of the day, what you're doing is the most important thing, and we need to make sure that that is happening. So what do you do when you're qualifying people? Qualifying trades it can be tricky, but it's set out your checklist, and the checklist is the requirements that you have. So things like being skilled. Are they skilled enough? And you can base that off of previous work experience, or gauging how they do actually turn up and present themselves, and can present you with the previous work and all of their references when it comes to that as well. Because look, at the end of the day, you can speak to them and they can pull out a few photos or send you over to an Instagram page and that sort of thing. But like what I've been doing with some trades recently is encouraging them to, okay, I would like to see references of previous people that you worked with, and so that I can contact them and have a chat with them. Definitely do it, because at the end of the day, we all want to know that we're going to get the job that we want, and it's going to be to a top quality finish, and it's going to be done in a good time frame as well. So we're always trying to work these sorts of things out and try to get guys to actually be honest about that, and sometimes it doesn't always tick off. So you're going through things and you've gotten some of the references, you can go through, you can check all that sort of stuff off, and then from there you really want to be having a conversation with them about whether there's a contract in place, and whether they work with contracts. Because and of course my phone would ring. My apologies, phone's ringing, makes for fun. But the fun part that does come from all of this is, now that I've lost track of where I'm up to, we're still trying to make sure that we are getting people that are going to be actually quality people. So we're going over their quality of work, previous work experience, and definitely making sure that their communication is up there, because we see a lot of guys that definitely their communication leaves a lot to be desired. And how do you make sure that their communication is going to be of a decent quality? It is going to be, hey, please turn up at this time. Make sure that they're going to be turning up at that time. If anything happens, that they're straight on the phone, or using whatever communication method is your preference to be able to get back to you and let you know what's going on. Because look, at the end of the day, if their communication when they first chat to you is poor and they don't turn up, well, it's just going back into the old stigma that you can't trust them. So you really need to sort of be that person that's vigilant and make sure that they're ticking the boxes and making sure that you're getting what you're asked for. And we're all asking for the people to actually come in and do the work, do it on time, and make sure that it's to a high quality. And high quality still goes back to how they run their business and all these sorts of things. Don't be afraid to check reviews, because if they have reviews, if they don't, you want to know whether they're good ones. And that's where we go back to the fun part of references, because they really need references and you need them to know what's going on. So best thing that you can do is definitely check up on all of that. So once you've gone through the little checklist and you've worked out whether they're good or bad, whether you want to use them, don't be afraid to have a chat with a few more, because you're going to get different opinions and different options when it comes to different trades and builders. So don't be afraid to really pick them apart, and qualifying them, number one thing. So we'll sum that one up, that you really need to do your due diligence and make sure that all these people tick all your boxes, and if they don't, well, they don't, and you move on. And don't be afraid to move on, because at the end of the day, plenty of guys out there that are looking for work and they're looking to be able to achieve things. So one interesting question that got posed to me last week while I was having a conversation with a prospective client, and that was how are we going to know, and how can we ensure that everyone's going to turn up on time? Very, very difficult question to answer. For myself, as a builder and as someone that's coming in to oversee a whole project, me turning up on time is imperative, and being scheduled and being able to produce a schedule and time slots every day is the only way that I can ensure that everything's being done right. And oh my goodness, I just sit down for a second and guy comes along with a blower. I'm having a good day today. And so we're making sure that what's going on is basically scheduled, and we can, if we ever get asked what's going on, we can slot something in. We can make sure that it's all booked in. Now, how can you make up, or how can you make up something that's going to ensure that trades are going to turn up for you if you're engaging them all directly? That's one of the fun things. Is getting guys locked down is one of the most difficult things. Like in this past week, I've been chasing a number of different trades and trying to lock them in. And once again, it goes back to the communication aspect, where they don't return phone calls or anything like that. And look, we honestly can't wait. So we need a response essentially straight away. And if we don't get it, then, well, we've got to move on. So we do that, and we make sure that we get an answer, we lock everything in, and we're also following up with them afterwards to say, okay, well, we're booked you in, we've sent out all of our emails to let them know this is the project, this is when it's going to be happening, this is when we have you booked in, please ensure you're on site. And it's certainly fun, because not all these guys check all their emails, so we've got to do the follow-ups afterwards as well. So we start sending things out, and believe you me, being in advance of it all is the only way that you are going to actually stay on time and on budget, because these guys, a lot of guys, they overbook themselves and overcommit, and then they underdeliver. So we've got to be really on their toes the whole time, going, okay, well, we've got you booked in for 3 weeks' time, okay, just confirming that. 2 weeks out, call again. We've got you booked in for 2 weeks away. Can we ensure that you're going to be on site? Yeah, you get the answers. You're getting all the yeses. You're getting all the yeses to everything. So from there, it's a week out. Hey, we're booked in for a week. You're still all good to go, because I've got all these trades lined up, ready to go, and we're progressing forwards. So I need to ensure that you are going to be there. Now, one of the fun things that a lot of people are struggling with, and my God, it is a fun one, but deposits. Deposits for any kind of work. A lot of people are getting really antsy about deposits, and a lot of trades are trying to charge extortionate deposits. Yes, I can understand if we want to lock things in, little small deposit, never more than 10%. Never more than 10%. If anybody is going to attempt to try and charge you more than 10%, walk away. Simple fact, walk away. That means that they're not running their business well. They think that they are, but they're not. Because at the end of the day, if they're operating like that, it means that they don't have the capital behind them to be able to carry out the work. So that means that they're pretty close to floundering and going under. So that's one thing I've learned, and I've seen a number of people disappear for that exact reason. So be careful. High deposits, stay away from them. Pardon the French. So when it comes to it, yeah, ensuring that they turn up on time and making sure that they're on budget, all critical things, and you really need to be paying attention to that sort of thing. So definitely definitely make sure that you're doing everything well in advance. Don't leave it to the last minute to book someone in, because you leave it to the last minute, all you're going to end up is in a world of pain. And we've all seen it, because we sometimes, as builders, sometimes things get missed, and we know that as soon as something's missed, we're basically up shit creek. So start getting the paddle out and try to swim a little bit harder, or push the boat up a little bit harder. So yes, that's where we'll probably leave it there today. Try to keep this one short and sweet, but I want to thank you for listening today. If you want to get in touch with me, you know where you can. Social media, you'll find the Builder's Office on Instagram. You can get in touch with us through that. If you are looking for some advice on building work, next week I'm going down to Brighton to help out a client that has had an interesting time, but that's the sort of thing that we do. We go and help everybody. So if you need any assistance, you know where to contact us. But I hope you all have a really great day, and you've enjoyed the podcast, and looking forward to next week's episode 19. We're moving along. Thank you very much. See you later.